Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
Insight Talk Radio Show was born from the need to spread the word to all who want to live the amazing life the Creator has intended for us. Reverend Janet Reynolds has 30 years of spiritual insight and experience. She has studied and taught in and outside of this country and has developed a respect for all religions, beliefs, and spiritual practices that are of God's true light. The lessons she learned are now shared every week on Insight Talk Radio. Tune in every Tuesday from 1:30 to 2:30 for spiritual guidance, tips, and techniques to aid you in your life's journey. The show also features interesting guest phone readings, healings, and meditations.
Good afternoon, everyone, and how are you? Welcome to our show, Insight. I am Janet Reynolds, your host for today. I am a spirit medium and an intuitive counselor, and it's such a beautiful day out today. It really is. I love this weather. I think my tech is having problems with something. Are you all right? You all right? You're okay. We got you covered. You know, I have found out one good thing is that we're not perfect. But I'm close. I'm close. My guest today is Trinda Latherow, and Trinda is a very, very good friend of mine. And our topic today is making a mind, body, and spirit connection. But let's have Trinda say hello.
Hello. And that was Will, by the way, if no one has been introducing him.
What
The
was
tech.
Will? Oh, the tech. Oh,
I
yeah.
think everyone should say, hey, Will.
Yeah, yeah. I was lucky to come out with the word tech. Let me tell you.
But thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. I just want y'all to know that Trinda is really a good friend of mine, has been a good friend of mine for a couple years, right?
It's been a number.
Yeah.
2005?
Oh, my God, has it really?
I know, it goes fast.
Oh, that's heavy duty.
Yeah.
That's 8 years.
It's a long time, I know.
I know. Oh, we've managed.
I know, that's amazing. The Virgo you and the Gemini me.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. I really am. I want to give you just a little bit of information about Trinda, and then we're going to let Trinda tell you more about herself. And then also on our talk today is we're going to talk about OSHA, safety and health in the workplace, which is very, very important. And of course, y'all know I did my Wikipedia, and we're going to, when we time it just right, then I'll tell you what Wikipedia has to say today. But after the birth of her daughter and soon after death of her mother, Trinda stepped upon a path of mysteries and miracles that eventually led her to begin a quest for the truth to our existence. And there's a whole lot of information I have here of you, Trinda, but just to start it out, I thought that was so good that you have that on your bio, and I really like it. So now,
Well, it lets people know where I'm coming from, why I did what I did. It wasn't just to write a book.
well, yes,
But it wasn't to do that. It really was an earnest search for who I was. I mean, so much was happening that I didn't understand and couldn't comprehend and was fearful of, that it just sparked something within me. And as you and I have said before, to everything, there is a divine time.
well, yes, and it is. It is divine time. I agree with that. I really do. Well, please tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Well, as Janet said, after my daughter was born, I coincidentally, I love saying that, met someone who suggested that I meet this wonderful psychic. And, and I said, no, I don't do that. It's okay. Thanks anyway. And she said, no, she's amazing. She knows so much and she can really help. And I had gone through so much, at that time that I thought, what the heck, And then after my mother passed, it was as if it was almost a yearning to connect with her. And if it was even remotely possible, which I didn't believe in at all, it wasn't a part of my belief system. But for some reason, there's some part of us that says, take the chance. And a part of us wants to believe in what we've been promised.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went. And on the drive home from that amazing experience, I kept saying, how could a stranger know such things that were so personal about my life? It's impossible. Only God and I know these things.
With the help of Spirit?
With the help of Spirit, yes.
Do you remember who you went to see?
I certainly do. She's no longer with us. She has herself since passed. And but I think of her often, and she's with me on occasion, which I find very interesting.
I think that's great. I really do. Because if nothing else, or let me just say this, when you do go to a psychic and or a medium, it's always good when you can walk out the door and say, wow.
I feel better. That's the whole purpose. It's not really to find your lottery number or whatever else you're after, unless that just happens to be in your destiny. But it really is about knowing that our loved ones go on and that there is more to life than flesh and bone.
Yes, I like that. The lottery numbers. You know, people
Nice,
do.
but, you know.
People do ask me that, but you know what? More than anything, everybody always wants a time frame. I want to know, when is this going to happen?
That's the big question.
That's the big one now. The big one is, I want it now, and the
We're
whole
impatient.
and my whole thing is, sorry, I don't feel that right now, but I can't give you a definite date, but I can give you, an approximate. So
Right. Well,
that part helps.
divine time and our time is not always the same time.
No, it's not. No. And what I'd like to say is, if anyone would like to call in and ask Trinda and I any questions, or if anyone would like to talk to us about our topic today and give us some information or tips, that would be great. So that's what's important here. Now, Trinda, we're supposedly we're going to be talking about making a mind, body, and spirit connection. And what you're saying is you made a spirit connection in a sense.
Well, I did and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You can have experiences but not make that mind, body, spirit connection. And in the very beginning, I had experiences, but I never really completely made the connection between all of it to live a better life. And I was still in safety and health at the time. It was a long career, and I was addressing the mind and body all the time. Mind and body, how to do things better in the workplace, how to stay safe. It never really dawned on me that a lot of the behavioral safety issues that were going on were connected through the spirit of us.
Isn't that something? And that's with OSHA, right?
Right. In other words, the organization, the national organization that heads up the safety and health of workers in America is called Occupational Safety and Health Association, and it's a governmental organization. Abbreviated is called OSHA, OSHA.gov, if you want to know more information. But I followed OSHA's rules and regulations in order to implement safety and health practices within workplace to try and keep employees and employers safer, healthier, more productive, and just overall better.
Mm-hmm.
But what's interesting is I never really was 100%, I feel, successful in the journey of safety and health because we always had behavioral issues.
Mm-hmm.
We never addressed the spirit of it.
Right. And spiritual is and would be really important.
Plays a big role in why we do what we do and how we do it.
Exactly.
You can get an employee that comes in and has a really terrible attitude because of some grief perhaps in his life or some lack or some loss in his life, and he can't function properly. Mm-hmm. He can follow all the rules and regs that you throw upon him, but when his mind is not 100% on the job because of his worries or his concerns, then an accident's going to happen. Almost a guarantee.
Exactly. Yeah. You do have to, it's called focus, balance.
Yes.
And that is, and the mind plays a big part in our life, but a lot of people don't understand that. It's what you think. or it's how you think that makes it a challenge, because, and it's when you don't think
Yes.
that you have you have problems. Well, let me just do one thing. I'm going to give you all the phone number again, and that is 727-597-4022. And if you would please call in if you have anything you would like to say to us. But I got my Wikipedia sheet here. I love this, on OSHA. And they really did give me what you just said. And OSHA, the United States Occupational Safety and Health Administration, is an agency of the United States Department of Labor. Congress established the agency under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, which I bet a lot of people don't know. President Richard Nixon signed into law on December 29, 1970. And OSHA's mission is to assure safe and healthful working conditions and that was healthful working conditions for working men and women by setting and enforcing standards and by providing training, outreach, education, and assistance. The agency is also charged with enforcing a variety of whistleblower statutes and regulations. OSHA is currently headed by Assistant Secretary of Labor, Dr. David Michaels. But you didn't know Richard Nixon did that, did you?
It was in my training, but I have forgotten. It has been some years. It's not something I put to memory, but I do know that we didn't have OSHA or any kind of formal regulations until as recently as just 1970. Now, I know some of you think, well, that's ages ago, but when you think about the age of America, that's not too long ago.
No, it isn't.
We went many a year without any real, true regulations and
right?
Yeah.
40 years.
Yeah, but still, 1970, things didn't come about until then. So when you think about what was transformed before 1970, all of the building of skyscrapers and such before that, how unsafe perhaps they might have been.
40 years. 40 years is doesn't seem like a long time, but it's good that they did finally come up
It
with,
is good.
with
It
that.
is saving lives. Yes.
Yes. Tell us some of the experiences, please, that you had when working under, the corporation that you worked for, but under the OSHA rules.
Well, I worked in both general industry and construction. Not so much in the health industry as far as medical industry, rather, but more in workplaces such as construction sites or even offices, because if a company has 11 or more employees, they have to follow all of these rules and regs.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, it's normally the smaller company, the little mom and pop shop, that doesn't know of a lot of these rules and regs that have a lot of issues with their workers because they don't fall under the regulation guidelines. However, it does apply to all in the sense that we must provide a safe workplace for all employees, no matter how big a company we have.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, they do still fall under that category, but it's a little bit more formalized in larger companies. You have safety and health directors nationwide who are out there every day trying to direct and teach and educate and assist employers in trying to keep health and safety a priority in the workplace. So there's a lot of good that's going on, and we don't have as many deaths, fatalities, or accidents as we used to prior to 1970.
Mm-hmm.
So we really have come a long way, baby, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the experiences that I've had were at times challenging because when you implement a safety and health practice, there's normally a cost involved. So you have to try and convince the employers that this is for the betterment of all as well as for their physical well-being.
Cost as in financial.
Yes, I mean, you're going to have costs when you implement procedures and practices in a workplace, but they far outweigh, any injury or death that might occur when you're talking in today's society where you can sue for so much money and so much responsibility comes from employers, with the health and safety of their workers.
Well, even with construction, I mean, to me, my ex-husband was a pile driver, a welder.
So you know.
And he did actually get hit in the mouth with a beam.
Did they cover it?
It was a good thing that he had his helmet on, his mask.
Oh, his mask.
Yes,
Right.
when he was doing it. But the impact of the hit mashed his teeth.
Wow.
So, you know.
And did the employer take care of that medical expense?
All of
for
that
him?
was taken
That's
care
a
of.
beautiful thing.
He was in he was in a union, so the
Okay.
union was right there.
Mhm.
But that was before OSHA.
Sure.
I don't want to give my age away.
I hear you, girl. But there were so many workers, iron workers, construction workers, farm workers that didn't have the protection that they do now. And that whistleblower clause is wonderful because you can call in anonymously and inform OSHA if you feel that there's an issue in your workplace or that you know of a hazardous situation. So it's really, really wonderful without fear of being fired or let go or, ridiculed in any way.
I did. I read some of the whistleblower. I thought that was interesting to know that they could do that, that they
Yeah.
could just call in
Absolutely.
and that's important because you don't want to lose your job, but yet you want to.
Make it safer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But that was my safety and health days. That was some time ago. But I did spend more than a decade in it. So it is a part of who I am. And I'm always looking to make it better for people. That's always been, I think, the inner passion, the thing that I was born with. You always wonder, well, what's my sole purpose and what's my passion in life? And my thought was always, I just want to make it better.
Yeah.
So I was always looking for jobs that let me try and do that.
To make it better.
Yeah, in whatever way I could. But for years, it was always just about the mind and body. Finally, we're making the mind, body, and spirit
Yes.
connection.
Yes, you are. So now tell everybody about the change.
Oh,
And
the change was big.
I know.
It's
What's
very
it
big.
been? 4
Uh,
years you haven't worked?
Yeah, well, don't say that. But not in safety and health. That I haven't worked in safety and health.
Well, you notice it just stopped right there.
Yeah, I see that.
Sorry
Well,
about that.
It was like so many people in January in 2009 with all that was going on economically in our country, a time period when construction lessened, and I was laid off from my safety and health gig in January of 2009.
When you say spirit helped you there.
Oh, yeah. But at the time, it was really funny. I thought it was a blessing, which it was, but I took it as a blessing. I took it as a sign that, okay, I'm free from the mundane 9 to 5, and well, actually more like 6 days a week, but I'm free from that environment, and I'm able now to make the mind, body, spirit connection and go off into my new career.
I hear you. I know. I'm going to let you tell everybody what your new career is. Did you put a title on it?
At the time I didn't. I just knew that I was going to have free time to write more because part of my title is author, consultant, and speaker, but a writer. I'm a writer at heart, a lover of words, if you will.
A lover of words. I like that. A lover of words. That's good.
Wordsmith or whatever you want to call me. But I was able to have more time to do what I love to do, and that was to write, of course.
She's very good on the computer, let me tell you.
With writing?
Yes,
Okay.
with anything, with designing, with making flyers for me when I'm desperately needing help, and yeah.
The creative side is great.
Yeah, your creative side is more than great, girl. If
Oh,
there's one
bless
thing
your
that
heart.
I can say, I really can, is because Trinda has helped me do quite a bit in the years that I've known her. The creative side of her is she does it so easily. And then I have to say to her, wait a minute, show me.
Because you're always wanting to
Yeah,
learn. That's good.
Because I want to learn from her.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'd have to sit on her so that I could
Slow me down.
slow her down to comprehend what she was telling me. But no, really, a lot of unique stuff comes out of Trinda. And then now tell us, please, about your books.
I will, but I want to follow up on what you just said about the creativity because we're all born with an inherent creativity or innate gift within us. And shall I share how I first started to recognize that
I
gift?
wish you would.
It's really a great story,
Yes,
so I
I
want
know.
to share my stories. I came out wanting to write as a new life. I wanted to write, so my hand was moving before I knew what the formation of the letters or words were. And at some point when I was very young, I love telling this story, my mother, the patient woman that she was, found me with a tube of her red lipstick because red was the color of the day. and I was writing all over my father while he was sleeping.
I
The
remember
sheets,
this story.
The sheets that he in
Oh.
bed, and the bureau and everything that I could find, and she just lovingly, said, "No, we don't do that," and whatever she said at the time. I was like less than 2, I think, at that point, and gave me a crayon eventually, and I began drawing. And she thought I was drawing, not writing. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
She just assumed I was drawing, so she encouraged the art to be there throughout my whole life, all while I was growing up in my childhood.
And
It
that
wa-
was a good thing.
And I did draw well. I just never drew well enough to maybe be a professional artist to that extent. But I always drew well enough to go, maybe this is a possible career path. So when I was quite young, I thought, well, that might be where my destiny lied. Little did we know, both of us, that it was actually writing and not drawing.
Yeah.
So
Isn't
that
something?
funny that your gifts are within you when you're born?
Mhm.
You just need to discover them.
You're right. You're right. And I think that I will tell you this to make it funny. My son, when he was 2, took a tube of my lipstick and he did my turquoise couch.
Oh, lovely.
But it was not.
Was he an artist?
It was not the artist
Oh,
in him
no.
that did that.
It was the little boy in
It
him
was-
that did that.
It was
Mm.
the devil that was
Yeah,
in
the
him.
devil made me do it. That's our excuse.
And when I woke up and saw that, I couldn't believe it.
I'm sure.
Pink lipstick all over a turquoise couch. But you come a long way with ourselves and
Yes.
finding ourselves out.
It does. It takes a
And-
lifetime sometimes. I mean, my bloom in life was late, but thankfully it did bloom.
Well, yes, and I don't really think that we can look at it as late.
Right.
I think I really feel that it's never in our time. It's always in Spirit's time.
And we're always evolving. It's always there. It's just that we're evolving in it. We're
Mhm.
evolving into whom we're supposed to be truly.
Right.
And that finally came about when I was freed from the last position that I was in.
Well,
And I say it that way on
Mhm.
purpose, to discover more of what I wanted to do in the next phase of my life, because the first phase was necessary to be that way. The jobs that I had and the things that I did prepped me for this time in my life. And they were necessary when they happened because they enabled me to have a family and raise my child and whatnot. And now that my daughter is grown and I have more time to devote to this industry
Mhm.
of reaching out to others in a multitude of ways,
Mhm.
but one way through the writing, it's divine time to do so, and that's what I did.
Well, yes, and the other thing is we really need to experience all that you have experienced before you
Yes.
got
Yes.
into writing, because that even helped you more with your writing because you'd been there and done that.
Absolutely. You don't want to learn from someone who hasn't gone through the experience. There's not much you can gain from that other than just going through it. So
I don't think
we're
you can.
sharing
I
our
don't-
wisdom now at our age now, Janet.
I know. That's why I keep telling you. Age doesn't have
No,
anything to
experience
do it.
does.
It's
You can be very
experience.
experienced as a young person. Yes, this is true. You can
Yes.
experience much in a few years. Yes.
Yes, you can. And I really feel to write a story, you really do need to experience it to
You
make
do.
that story well.
And when my very first interview was with a writer, a very well-known author, and his tip for new writers, which at the time I was, he said, "Write of what you know." Made
Okay.
sense,
Yeah.
but he was a fiction writer, so I don't know. I guess he did a lot of dreaming.
You didn't have much fiction in your life, did you?
Well, I had
Pretty real.
life was very real on occasion, but I wrote nonfiction work first because I was writing of what I know, and just wrote of the experiences that I've had throughout my life, as not only with the mind and body in my life, but also when spirit started to come into my life, that I started to recognize. Spirit's always been there, but when I started to first recognize spirit in my life, I wrote about those first initial moments when I started to see the unseen world around us, and it was kind of impressive.
Well, you got to meet a lot of unique people,
I
or I
did.
should say, you had an opportunity to speak to quite a few.
I did, and I still do,
interesting
which is
people.
amazing. In the
Yeah.
beginning, so much was happening that I started to reach out to those who had experience in the things that I was coming to recognize. and have happened in my own life. So I reached out to those who were either writing about it or had experienced it or who was an expert in it. And so I was reaching out to folks like yourself in the very beginning and interviewing all of these wonderful people who had this great insight, or as I say in my books, some essential piece of the puzzle to our existence, some valuable insight or some truth, if you will, that they had within them that I hadn't experienced or hadn't recognized, I should say, in myself. And so I was interviewing them and asking them how they came to know such things, how they came to have their own experiences. And it just got to be so much. I ended up writing about it and putting it in a book, and then one book led to two, and then two led to three, and now 4 volumes later.
Yes, yes. And I'm in one.
Yes, you're in
1 and 3.
all of them, I believe, to some extent.
Really?
We've had a lot of experiences together,
Yes,
you and I.
We have. But, you know, I really want to highlight on some of who you spoke to. Please give the name of the titles of your books,
Okay.
especially the first one.
Well, the book series is not yet published. Let me put that out there first. It is a work in progress. It's finished, but it's seeking a publishing house to be involved with. So all prayers and well wishes welcome for that.
Yes.
That the right person and the right company find pieces of the puzzle as essential as Spirit and I do. But in the beginning, there were so many pieces to this amazing life puzzle that we called it Pieces of the Puzzle. And the first volume is called Pieces of the Puzzle, Volume 1, Psychic Phenomena, because that was the first thing that caught my attention, was all of the unusual paranormal or supernatural or woo-woo experiences, as I like to call them.
Right, right.
That were happening to me, miraculous moments that I didn't understand or didn't expect. And so much so that I ended up writing about each experience. And then that evolved into my questioning, well, if I'm having these miraculous experiences, what's real? What is our reality? And went into an investigative mode as far as, well, what's real, what's not, what are dreams, what are not, just a variety of things, and met some amazing people. And one, for example, in the beginning was Richard B. Matheson, who wrote What Dreams May Come, if you remember that novel from the 1970s, I believe.
I do, and I'll be doing a class on dreams next week.
Oh, then there you go. That's why I said that.
Yeah, and that
To
I
to
think
let
that's
everyone
special.
know. It is a very special thing to look at our dreams, to look at what is a dream, what is the makings of our mind, because we do that, and just kind of sort life out. But also, what is that something else that's a little bit more than just a dream, perhaps?
What I meant was I thought it was special that you brought up the word or the
Absolutely.
topic dreams.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It all
Because it all fits
It all
in.
fits.
Nothing is a coincidence.
nothing is a coincidence.
And when people know one another, I love the way that it
Yes.
it can flow. But yes.
We thread together, we ebb and flow together. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
We read each other's minds in a way, or
Yes, we do.
It's
And I
just-
think that's good.
it's such
And
a gift. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And dreams are so much fun to work with. That's why next week I'm going to have a class on dreams. But
I'll be sure to listen in.
oh, good.
That'll be
Good.
wonderful, really. It
Yeah,
is
then you
important.
can call in and ask a question.
You know, my husband has amazing dreams. And for anyone listening and thinking about their dreams, some dream in black and white, some dream in color, some dream with almost like motion pictures in their mind, some dream with just photos. So it's going to be great to hear how you explain some of that. But he can actually tell the difference now. My man of science, he's so spiritual, I love it, can actually tell the difference between the makings of the mind and an actual experience.
And there's a lot you can do with your dreams because you learn
Yes.
that your dreams are trying to help you.
Yes.
They're really answering your questions or helping you to get through your day.
Oh, that's how I answer my
So-
questions. When I have a big dilemma in life or something that's pressing on my mind, I say, okay, I'm going to think about that in my dream spell. And then in the morning, it's really amazing. We have the answer at that point.
That is the truth. And my daughter does that all the time. That is one good thing that I did manage to teach her. And God love her heart, she'll go to bed at night and she will ask Spirit a question. And the next morning she has her answer.
Yeah.
And it's through whatever appears in her dream.
Yeah, I would encourage all your listeners to try it. Just try it tonight. Go to sleep
Yes.
with one question, just one. Don't Don't overwhelm yourself.
No.
But just one, and then wake up in the morning and darned if you won't have the answer or the way to do whatever it is that you were thinking about.
And that's true. So dreams are so important. I had a lot of them last night, but I can't remember them this morning. So I jumped out of that bed fast this morning. But anyway.
But after book 2, that was trying to understand a little bit more about this life. I started to think about, well, okay, well, what about the afterlife? If it does indeed exist, what is it like? What will it be like? And is it different for everyone? So that was a big question for me. And as I was going through my own evolvement, the books came about at that time. So it's really an evolving journey of my own quest, but it answers a lot of the questions that we all seem to have a familiar commonality with. And one of the people that I interviewed for the books as well that talked on that somewhat was James Van Praagh.
I know.
God bless his soul, because he was a very generous contributor to the books and really is an amazing light.
He is a good soul.
He is.
I saw him in person in New York, upstate New York, at Lilydale, Casadega, and which is a spiritual camp. And I have his first book, and he signed it for me.
He's a wonderful man. And, you know, I went to Lilydale and interviewed all of the well, not all, but a lot of the psychics that were residents of Lilydale and who practiced their mediumship there still today. And it was just an amazing, unbelievable, miraculous experience trip there, because I spent the whole weekend. And actually, that was the first place that I ever saw spirit.
Oh, how about that?
It's
Which
very
room?
special.
Was that in your bedroom you saw?
No. This was in the bright of day, outside, amongst all of the visitors that come there daily to hear free readings. There are mediums that practice an ancient old tradition of giving messages at the forest temple outside.
I had that opportunity to give a message.
Oh, you did?
Yes, I did.
In front of everyone. And there are hundreds that come there.
That's my love. It's a
beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, get in front of people and give them messages. But go ahead, tell us about the
that's a wonderful
spirit.
thing that you did, because I know that everyone that sits there is appreciative of the mediums that give of themselves freely for that purpose, just to remind everyone that our deceased loved ones really still do exist.
Yes, they do. Yes, and that was important.
It is important work that everyone's doing there.
It is.
If you ever get a chance to go to Lilydale, New York, go with our blessing and just be open. I think that was one of the first things that allowed me to experience the unseen world, and that was to just be willingly open to a divine light and love to come into my life and to manifest in more ways than just seeing and hearing and smelling and sensing.
It's important to be open, because if you're not, you block. And even when you're doing a reading or you're getting a reading, if you're not open, you're not helping yourself, because you're shutting the medium out, and it makes it harder for the medium or the psychic to give you a reading.
It does. And that was one of the
most important.
That was one of the most important things, was to stay open to everything. And I was very open to learning. And I went with the skeptic's mindset in the very beginning with all of my experiences, but I was still open to whatever is truth. And I think that's important too. What you seek is what you find.
Exactly.
So after I explored a little bit of the afterlife through the stories of others, I asked Spirit, please don't let me flatline to experience the afterlife for this book. I didn't want to go there directly, but I wanted to meet those who perhaps did or had some understanding or greater knowing of the afterlife. And I did find them, and they did find me, and Spirit brought us together. And it's a wonderful third volume on grief and healing and knowing that our loved ones continue through so many people's experiences and stories. It was just a wonderful addition.
You didn't tell me what spirit you saw.
Oh, I saw 3. I didn't even see 1. I saw 3.
There you go.
3 spirits. I was actually watching very tentatively of the medium who was presenting that day at the temple. And as he was speaking, all of a sudden, the psychic that was sitting next to me said, "Oh, spirit's with him, look, look." And I looked again, blinked my eyes again, and there beside him, 2 to his one side and 1 to his other side. And it was really odd. It was like they were in motion together. They were almost as if one. They were swaying together as he was reading giving messages, I should say, for the public. So I saw 3 of his guides, his spirit guides next
Oh,
to
that's
him.
nice. That's
Um,
nice.
And it's not just the medium that's with you. Remember that, and it's not just you and I here today in this room. It's you and I and our
No.
guides,
No.
our deceased loved ones, and all those who are assisting us bring messages of truth to everyone. And when you have a meeting with a medium, it's more than just you and that person. It's all of your guides and loved ones with you.
Well, Blue Feather is definitely always,
With
I feel, with me, no matter what. I really do. And I'm selfish enough to be able to say that because I want to believe that he's always here. But, sometimes he does. He pops up and he talks to the individuals that I am talking with to give them messages to help them to get through whatever situation that they're in. And I appreciate that from him. And I allow him to do that. But it's done in respect. I have to always ask first.
Yes.
And then he'll come in and answer a question. So, and that's important when you're doing this work too. Is not just allowing any entity to just come in and you just go off and give messages. You just can't do that. You need to do it in a respectful way.
Well, and I think it's important for everyone that's listening to know that they're never alone, that their deceased loved ones and spirit guides, those who have their well-being in mind, are with them. All they have to do is call out to them or ask them. And I will validate what you're saying about Blue Feather always being with you because you invite him to do so. And many a time in a non-reading environment, when you and I were together and I was dwelling on some concern, that he would just come forth just to remind both of us of his presence and to assist me in recognizing the truth that's before us. So many times we get caught up in our human frailties, our fears and worries over this mundane world that we forget we have this wonderful spiritual support system of angels and guides and loved ones. We forget to use them. They're there for our calling on.
That's why it's nice when he comes in. And you're right, Trinda. I remember that now that you mention it. He has
he
come
did
in
come
a couple
through
times.
a few times to set me straight, I tell you. No, to be
God.
of assistance and never to tell us what to do. Our guides never tell us what to do.
No,
but
they
they
don't.
just come for reassurance and for comfort and support and for love and just for a little bit of insight as to what we're looking at, because we get so caught up sometimes in our fears that we forget to look at a bigger picture and relax about life. It can be a really joyful experience.
It's just a matter, once more, go back to body, mind.
Mm-hmm.
It's how you think, when you think, and why you think. It's important, but the guides are always with us. And I will say all of us have Indian guides. I will tell you that.
I did wonder about that in the beginning. I went, why does everyone have an Indian guide? But when you think about it,
the beginning of life, in a sense, with the
Wow.
Indians, right?
they played a huge role in our history.
They sure did.
And I really think it's just amazing even for all the wrongs that were done to the Native American Indian, how blessed we are to have them now in spirit realize our vital connection to each other and for them to give as they do to us for our betterment. We are so blessed and so grateful.
Which reminds me to ask you this. I did buy a movie, and it's on my computer, and they tell me that it can be loaded down to my Kindle.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how to load it down, and I have tried, but it's about the Indians. It's segments of different things that happened. There's, I think, 5 different videos to it, or 5 different shows. It's beautiful. I really will.
I'd like to look at it.
Yes, I will. I'll tell you how we can do that. But maybe after you look at it, we can
Work on it.
Work on it and see if we can't put it down to my Kindle, because I don't really like watching it on my computer. I want to put it in my Kindle. I love my Kindle Fire. That's my favorite thing.
It is amazing what technology is allowing us to do now, to take our life with us wherever we go and to enjoy so much more and be connected worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're doing.
It's amazing.
With this radio station and with television and internet, we're connecting more and more and more worldwide
You know what? And I'm learning more and more
Yes.
worldwide. I mean, my son was the one that got me the Kindle Fire for Christmas last year, and I just told him I wanted just the little guy. Just get me the little one. He got me the big one. I love it. I still have a lot to learn with it, but I get to watch videos on it and my stories and everything. But where I'm going with this is he then sent me his i4 phone.
Oh, great.
Oh, yes, it is.
We're getting you there, girl. We're getting you to the right century anyway. It's all good.
You know what the most beautiful thing is about that i4 phone? I can take my laptop, my i4 phone, and sit down, and I can now hook up and get my computer internet anytime I want because I have what they call Hotspot.
Wonderful.
I know.
This is a big thing for Janet. This is
It
big, ladies and gentlemen.
It
She's
is.
gone tech on me. I love it.
I know, and I was in the store the other day getting a new printer, and I was able to go into my emails because the gentleman Richard, who helped me to get this certain printer, had sent me pictures of it, and I was able to show it
See?
to the salesperson to get the right printer.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, isn't that amazing?
You've come a long way, girl.
I know.
High
I
five.
think that, yeah. I think that's called You've Come a Long Way, Virginia Slim.
You've done well,
Come a
Janet.
long way, baby. That's what it is.
But you know, we're all learning this. We're all learning the technology, and we're all learning how to meet and make a connection, as my blog title says, because there's an importance there. There's an importance to all of us coming together in greater ways than ever before for a lot of really important and profound reasons.
Tell us a little bit more about the blog, because I know that you do that a lot.
I do that a lot. That's how I meet and make a connection with all of the people that are out there that are seekers, that are sages, that are just looking to find answers and to understand more about their own life lessons, to not only delve into the supernatural, if you will, but also to try and make this reality a little bit better, to manifest their dreams, to be at peace with self and life and death. That's a big fear for a lot of people. So when you come into some knowing of who you are and where you came from, then where you're going is not as fearful. And then, of course, also to round all of that up and to encompass all of that lies our spiritual maturity and our faith. So that was the fourth book, Spirituality and Faith, and that's all of the topics that are discussed on the blog at trinda.net/blog, and it's also called Meet and Make a Connection. So I hope all of you will join me there to learn and grow together. And there are hundreds of free writings. I posted my 900th post today.
Oh my goodness! And I know you had me out there, and
yes.
And I know I have written. Oh, I'm now up to 11 stories. I have written 11 stories
and shared them with our
Yes.
readers as well. So
Yes.
you can go on to trinda.net in the blog and look and do a search for Meet Janet Reynolds, and
Yeah.
you'll find the post that I did about her and my understanding and my knowing of Janet in the beginning and how we met, and then also a few of her stories that she's sharing with us, as well as on her own website at bluefeather.net.
Yeah. You know, we have
have.
come a long way. Did I ever know that I would sit down and write some stories?
Never.
No. Yes.
We really don't know what lies tomorrow, which is a really great thing because I love the journey and I love the unknowing and the experiences as they come. We have to be excited about what's coming.
Well, it is. To me, it's exciting. I mean, did I ever know I would be doing a radio show, a
No.
talk show? See?
And how fun this is.
I know, and I love it. I really do. I enjoy this. And sometimes, it's just instinct. Instinct told me to do it. And I did. And I have loved it ever since. And I look forward every week to all the guests that I bring in because I learn a lot from all of this.
We do learn by meeting and making connection with people. And this is one way
Yes.
for you to do that. And it's a one way for listeners to meet so many interesting people by having you connect with them here. So thanks to all of them for tuning in and listening to us. And if they have any questions or
Yes.
comments, they can either call in or write us later.
And the phone number to call is 727-597-4022. I would just love for you all to call in and ask us a question. Now, where are we?
Well, we were talking about the blog. So if they don't want to call in or if they'd like a private talk with us, they can always contact us on our websites. With a blog, the beautiful thing about writing on the internet that way is that you have the ability to comment or question through any of the articles that are on the blog. You can ask a specific question or just ask to find out where we'll be both appearing next. We do a lot of radio shows, but we also do a lot of in-person appearances, not only throughout our home state in the South, but also nationwide and Janet internationally right now.
Oh yeah,
So,
and
it's exciting.
Yes, and I do. I work out of the country when I go out of the country. I haven't done that the past couple times because I'm there enjoying my grandchildren, but my daughter at the present is looking for places for me to work in England when I go over in May. And then I'm going to go to Scotland. And when I go to Scotland, that's just going to be a week of looking for ghosts.
You're going on a ghost hunt, are you?
Huh?
You're going on a ghost hunt, are you?
I am.
I don't do that, but okay.
Oh, no.
You
They
enjoy
got
that?
some beautiful castles over there.
Oh, no, I would like to see the castles.
No, we're going to the castles. We're going to go to
Okay.
places where it's known. I'm going to the Isle of Arran.
Well, that sounds a lot better than rummaging around in attics or basements or something.
Oh
so
no,
that's
I'm not
good.
going to do that part. No, I'm going to go to actual places. You know, I've learned a lot in England, and I've been going back and forth to England for many years now. And I had John Spurrier here last week, and you know, your rocks have faces. You know, you have little fairies. You have elves.
There are elementals in the world.
Yes,
Little
and
nature's fairies or whatever.
well, yeah,
Mhm.
and I went to Merlin's place in England to see what he was all about, the magician.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful. It really was. It was a cave.
Mhm.
You know, I've learned a lot. I really have. I love it, and I love to travel.
But you
I
know,
really
you're
do.
one of the few that I know personally that really do work and play in a balanced way. We really do need to make that mind, body, spirit connection so that we can begin to live a more balanced life. Life is meant to be enjoyed as well as learned from. I mean, we can have all the lessons and all the trials, but there should be equally a number of triumphs and enjoyment and fun in life. And that's one of the things that I'm really focused on now in my life, especially now when I have the time to be so.
Does that mean you're going to have fun?
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
I'm going to try. You know, here's a great exercise for those of you sitting at home. Take a piece of paper if you can one day, and then just draw a bunch of lines crossing one another, and at the outer edge of them put the number 10, and in the center 0. And on each spoke of this wheel, of this diagram, you'll put work on one spoke, play on another, you know, spirituality on another, whatever, all these different aspects of your being.
Mhm.
And see where you are in your life right at this moment in time. Are you practicing your spirituality to a 10? Are you working to a 10 level? Are you playing at a 10 level? And see what levels that you feel you are at this time. And if you come up with a really large circle, you're doing pretty well. Your life is balanced in all the aspects of your being. But if you find that it looks more like an amoeba or a mushroom or some odd design, you know that you don't have balance in your life, because we really need to work at trying to have all the aspects of our life a little bit better than maybe they are.
I have to sit and do that.
It's a wonderful exercise. I found out I have like an amoeba thing going on because I need to play more. And
Oh, you definitely need to play more.
I know.
You know, I know I'm serious, but Trinda has me beat on that one. Getting her out the door is like asking a brick wall to move.
This was a lot to
so-
come in today, but it was so worth it. And
Oh.
such a pleasure for me to be out here and speaking with all of you, because it's so important now for us to meet and connect and to find a way to really live the best life we can, because we are deserving. We are all of value and worth. We all have a right to be happy. We just need to balance those aspects of our being, our mind, body, spirit, or as I say in my writings, our physical, our mental, our emotional, and our spiritual parts to self,
Mhm.
because they all have a really vital role in our truly being happier, healthier, and wealthier in abundance, in blessings.
Well, we are really wealthy
We
in
are.
a lot of ways.
We
And
are.
And it doesn't make that we are wealthy material-wise. We're
Blessed.
Yes. And I, for one, can honestly say I am blessed in so many ways.
But
I
you know, we
really
all
am.
are, Janet. We just don't always recognize all of those blessings. We have so many blessings when we stop to think about them. So another exercise that's fun to do is to wake each morning with a gratitude list.
Oh, now, that's good,
It
Trinda.
helps.
That's good.
After those beautiful dreams that you want to talk about, how about a gratitude list?
You know what? That's a good, um,
It helps keep things into perspective, doesn't it?
yes, it does. You know what I do, except for the past couple mornings I have not done because it's been too cold to go out there. I'm usually out on my patio in the morning,
Mhm.
drinking a cup of coffee. And
Getting in nature helps you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And then telling Spirit how thankful I am for
Absolutely.
everything that I have,
Absolutely.
for everything that I don't have,
True.
and for everything that I'm about to receive. So it's important to tell them thank you.
It is. You can ask all you want, believe if you can, but always thank and live in gratitude for all of your blessings.
And you need to keep a focused and balanced mind because there's so many challenges out there today. There is just so many. And one of the challenges is the pollen that keeps.
This is true. There's a lot of challenges
Yes.
physically and mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. But
Yes.
if you're looking for ways at dealing with some of these life issues, do stop on the blog and read some of the writings that are there because there's a great amount of insight and a lot of helpful tips for living your best life yet.
Yes. Now, I have some announcements to make, if you would please. And do you have some?
A couple.
Trinda?
A couple.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Well, I am doing what we call a Talking Between Worlds, which is a seance, and I'm doing that March the 10th. And if you would please go out on www.bluefeather.net, you will find all my events out there. I do work at Mystical Sense on Thursdays, 3 Thursdays in the month from 12 to 6, and that's in Thonasassa. And I can give you the phone number to call Mystical Sense, and that is 813-986-3212. But go back to my having a seance March 10th. You can call my house 813-814-1601. But there is you can register on my webpage. I love the way that Trish did it. She put walking between worlds. So and then I have my flyer out there and it does say talking between worlds. I was going to change the walking between worlds, but it sounded so neat. I said, no, I'll just leave it like that. So that is, and then of course, next week I'll be doing the dream class for the talk show here. And I do have some interesting guests, and Pearl from Mystical Sense is coming back, and she'll be back here on February 25th for Wicca 2. So we really had a good time. She did a fantastic meditation. And then I have a gentleman from England.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So everybody please tune in because it's Richard Brown. And he also is a medium, and he's a friend of Kit, and Kit and them they're going to be out at Mystical Sense.
Sounds exciting.
So yes, and then just to tell everybody so that Trinda can give her announcements. I really appreciate everyone. I really do, and I did a channeling with Blue Feather last week, and I had 20-some people at my home. It was really, really fantastic. And what I would like for you all to know is that if you would like a video of that program, we will make them for you. And if you go out on my webpage, you'll find out all the information. But I did tell everyone thank you for that. So, and then I go to Benjamin's studio. I'm going to be there on the 23rd. That's a Saturday. And that's Joe and Karen, and they're wonderful to me. I'll be doing readings there if anybody wants to join us there. Real quick, I'm at the Osmar Flea Market on Sundays. If I run a special, 10 minutes, $10.
What a deal.
Yes, and I'm at the Flea Market, Open Flea Market in Treasure Island.
She's
on
everywhere.
Fridays, yes. I'm out there working, guys. I think
She
it's
is.
great. I love it. I really do. Now, Trinda, please tell us what you have.
Well, I just wanted to let everyone know that the site is evolving. We've gotten over a million hits
Oh my
now on the blog.
gosh.
I know, we're crazy busy.
Yes.
And so a calendar is up on the site now. I'm going out into homes and meeting and making a connection face to face. So if you'd like to have me in your home for a speaking presentation, just give me a call and we'll have a meetup at your place. That'll be fun.
Meetup is a good word.
It
I
is.
call it events. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I will come into your
Into
home.
your home. It's wonderful.
And do readings and or a seance.
It allows for a much more personal connection and
It does.
a time for questions and answers, and it's really great. So that's exciting. So I'm going out in meetings. The calendar is on the blog, so you can find out where I'm at. And if you'd like me to be scheduled sometime, you'll have an idea as to what openings there are. And also just the events that are happening, that are coming up, they're all on the calendar. I'm just going to leave it at that. There's just so much. I can't even think of everything that's going on right now. But there's lots of changes. There's the Ides of March are upon us almost a little earlier
know.
than normal because things are getting very busy very quickly.
Uh-huh.
A lot's happening. I'm sure to you all as well. So
Yes.
hold on to your hats. It's going to be breezy.
Yes.
And if you need either
well,
of us, give a holler.
Blue Feather said there was going to be, when I channeled him, there was going to be much wind
In
this
more
year.
ways than one.
Yeah, well, see, he didn't say hurricane. He said much wind, many winds.
I
Many
think-
winds, I think is how
I
he
think
said
things
it.
are stirring up amongst all of us, and we're starting to recognize more of what's going on around us, and we're a little bit more aware of one another, and hopefully we do it in right and meaningful ways. But
Well, when we have the disasters that we've been having, it seems like even though they're as sad and as bad as
people
they
are pulling through for each other, though, aren't they?
that's the whole point.
Yes.
I just got chills
I know.
on that.
And that's important.
That is. It really, really is. So, anytime we can help somebody, that's a blessing right there. And, there's an old saying, what goes around comes around. And I do feel when we help people with love, not because we have to,
Right.
when we do it that way, we gain.
We do. So many
So,
more,
Yeah.
in so many more ways.
So,
So it was a blessing to be here. Thank you, Janet.
well,
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. It's
Yes.
been an honor to be with you.
It was good. And just to let you know that hopefully, and I'm sure she will, Trinda, when I go to Scotland, is going to help run my program show. So that's going to be a good thing.
It'll be fun. Love to
I
be with
know.
you then.
Yes.
We'll think of some
I'll
great
be
guests
in,
to bring
I'll
in.
call in from Scotland.
Oh,
How's
that'd
that?
be fun.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Yeah. I can
I look
hardly
forward
wait.
to it.
Yeah, see? All right. Oh, wow. I just want to thank everybody for everything. I really did enjoy today. I did learn a lot, and I learn a lot all the time. I hope all of you out there learned something about OSHA and, well, mainly, I hope you learned something about mind, body, and spirit connection. And I do really appreciate Trinda being here. So, Trinda, what would you like to say as an exit left door?
Meet and make a connection. No matter how you can, just reach out to others, reach out to one another. We really do need one another.
Yeah, we do. Meet and make a connection. I like that. That's almost like walking between worlds.
However you can reach out and touch someone, it's a good thing.
Yeah, I'll touch and you touch the other. How's that?
Oh, that's a different show, honey.
You do the real ones, and I'll do the ones that have passed by us.
Invisible hands.
Yes. So, well, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. I really enjoyed it, and everyone have a great day. Our weather is so beautiful. I love it. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today on Insight. Join us weekly where we will give spiritual insight, tips, and techniques to aid you on your spiritual journey. May Spirit be with you.